Hello everybody, Jake with Enlightened Canine here. Today I'll be working with Mr. Rudi, who's very anxious and tense and aggressive. Now the first part of the training with him is kenneling him, obviously for safety reasons, but also he has a very little trust for all humans, so it's going to be a great trust building exercise further in the training as well. Now he won't take food and I can't even touch him or get near him because he will attack me. So the only way to teach him that I want him to go into the kennel is via leash pressure. You're probably wondering why he's wearing a few leashes right now. Basically, his owners dropped him off and he pulls on leash, so the leash slipped down and it was basically around his chest. The most effective way to teach leash pressure is when the leash is on the top of the neck. So I tried to put my own on him on the top of his neck, but like I said, I can't touch him. So I failed. I've basically found a way to get the leash to go on the top of his neck, so I made it work. Now it's important to note that you need to be fair to the dog. You can't create expectations for him before he knows what you want from him. So if you haven't seen it already, go and check out my leash dancing video. That's where I introduce Rudi to leash pressure. It's a very simple process, so go and check that out. Link will be in the description, and I'll try to get it on this video as well. So now basically I know he understands leash pressure 100%, so I can expect him to go into the kennel when I want him to, because I know that he understands the pressure on the leash. So I'm basically showing him if you go into the kennel, you'll get to go right back out. Now dogs like Rudi, who are very tense and anxious all the time, they're not used to working very much. So there's going to be a limit on how much they are willing to work before they stop, shut down, whatever. They'll tell you they're done working. The way Rudi tells me here is he tries to attack me, which is unacceptable. So I basically block him from doing so. Now, the most important part of this is that there's no emotion involved. I'm not angry at him. I'm not mad at him. I'm not going to put him into the ground. I'm simply not going to let him attack me. Then when he relaxes, the tension on the leash will relax, and we will go right back into the kennel. Now I know I've reached his limit. So there needs to be an end soon to this exercise. But we need to do it safe as well. I can't just leave him in a room where he could scratch through a door, hurt himself. He needs to be in the kennel. So I'm basically going to get him into the kennel. I'm going to put the leash through the door at some point so I can close the kennel. And then we're going to be done. This is very exhausting for him. He's going to be very tired. But closing the door is a whole nother exercise for him. It's going to be very hard to close the door because, like I said, he's 10 years old. He's never been in a kennel in his entire life. So you can see here I'm going to put the leash through the door. That's a big time safety protocol every trainer should practice. In the morning or whenever the next time is that I take him out of the kennel, I'm not going to be able to get a leash on him. So the leash is going to stay on him for the night. And it's going to be attached to a long line, as you can see, hanging out of the kennel, so he can't get it off. So in the morning, I simply am able to go slow, with it as well. But I'm able to open the door, grab the leash, and then we can go outside, go for a walk, go potty, all that good stuff. Now closing the door is even going to be more overwhelming than getting him into the kennel because he will feel trapped. But it's easy to get a dog into a kennel and simply slam the door shut and call it a day. But all of the little things will matter to Rudi in the long run. So it's important to take this slow as well. You'll notice that I turned the light off here. I had a headache, so I shut one light off. So basically the leash is through the door, and I crouch down. I'm going to let him adjust, wait for his mind frame to change. I'll push the door a little bit. You may hear a growl. I'll wait for his mind frame to change again. I'll push it more, and we take baby steps. So you see he didn't like the door being closed there. I'm not going to, coddle him, pet him. One, because I can't. Two, you'd be reinforcing a bad behavior. But what I'm going to do is simply let him relax a little bit. So I push it closed again a little bit. And then ultimately the door will be closed. Then closing the latches will be another process you'll see here in just a second. One more thing I want to point out real quick is it may appear that the leash is being tense and then I'm using the leash to close the door, but it's actually not very tight on him. He's choosing to be at the front of the kennel to prevent the door from being shut. So I'm not actually forcing him into the front of the kennel, he's choosing to be there. But right now I'm testing him basically. The door's not closed all the way, but it needs to get closed. I don't quite want to touch the door yet because he will snap and bite, but you can see right there his frame of mind changed. So I will go test him a little bit more, push the door shut, and then we'll move on to the latches here. So this yawn right here is actually a pretty big deal. I'm going to use that, and obviously his frame of mind changed. He's relieving some of the stress that has been built up this entire time. So I'm going to go ahead and close the latches now because his frame of mind is totally different from what it was even just 10 seconds ago when he was tense. Those footsteps you heard actually helped a little bit, distracted him from what was going on. So I'm actually really glad that that happened. Now Rudi breaks out of kennels as well, so we must secure it before we let him be in there on his own. As you can see, just me moving positions made him very uncomfortable, so I'm going to wait until he stops growling here. He's telling me he's uncomfortable. I'm okay with that. I'm going to wait until he stops growling. My hand is not going to move, however. So you see right there, his frame of mind switched. So I'm able to put the leash in through the sidewall around the door and tie it shut. And that is the end of that. It's also important to note a dog who can escape from a kennel, even if you tie it shut with zip ties, no matter how powerful it is, they need to be supervised so you can correct behavior, so you can correct them for trying to get out of the kennel. They can't be allowed to do that. So even though this video was ending, the training did not end yet. I supervised him for a while to correct him for trying to get out of the kennel, and it was actually quite simple. So here you see me just tie the kennel shut. He's actually decently relaxed right now, about as relaxed as he'll get. This is Rudi after 3 days of working with me. We've built a solid relationship together. He trusts me, not quite 100%, but we're working toward that. He's going to be with me for 3 weeks, so this is only day 3. Even if he's still at this point after 3 weeks, which I highly doubt he will be, I know I can teach his owners how to do what I'm doing right now so they can close the deal with the kennel. So this is a really big deal that he's able to go in there, let me close the door without trying to attack me. Thank you so much for watching, and please make sure you check out my website, enlightenedk9training.com, for more videos.